Test, test.
Good evening and welcome to the January 3rd, 2024 Planning Commission Business Session Meeting. I'd like to welcome everyone. First, before we get started, are there any ex parte communications or conflicts of interest that need to be disclosed? Seeing and hearing none, we'll go forward. We have two items on the agenda for tonight. One is to take a look at some zoning text amendments, and the other is to talk about sports court ordinances. Before we start with that, we will start with general public comment. And that the time for general public comment is to share comments on items not listed on the agenda. So you will have 3 minutes to share your comments, and we will go ahead and start. I have a couple of comment cards, and if these, again, not related to either of the agenda items. I will start with Renee. You could just state your name. If you wait 1 second, let's make sure that microphone's on. Thanks.
Is that better?
Yes, thank
Just
you.
quickly, is this sport court related?
Yes,
Okay,
that's
hold
what I'm
off
gonna
for a
ask.
few
Okay.
minutes. yeah.
Okay,
I'm going.
thank you.
Hold
Thank
on.
you for that. Thank you. And Audrey, is yours sport court related or something else? Okay, great. Okay.
Audrey Pines, and you guys know I'm a terrible public speaker, so excuse me. So I just wanted to say I write letters into you guys before because I have questions about what you guys are talking about. And so I really appreciate if you address what's in my letter. And really fast, dog kennels. I would never allow a dog kennel in my neighborhood. So I don't know what to say about that, you guys. I have been to a lot of dog kennels. Maybe the dog sitters that I've had, they sneak in 3 in their house, but the dog kennels I go to are in industrial areas. I can't even imagine it. I love that. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. We do have online, but I don't see that there's no hand raised. So we will go ahead and close general public comment and move on to our business items. We will start with project ZTA 23005, which is a public hearing and possible action on a city-initiated zoning text amendment to make administrative updates to portions of Title II, Title III, Title 12, and Title 19 of City Code. The purpose of this tax amendment is to clarify ambiguous definitions and procedures and rectify conflicting provisions as part of ongoing city code maintenance.
Great. Well, wonderful to be back talking about it. I will defer to whatever the commission would like in terms of presentation. I see that we have a very similar lovely audience to those we had in our work session. So I would maybe recommend we don't go through the full list of changes. But
I think, are we okay with a abbreviated? Yes.
Cool. Yeah. And I'll just maybe note for anyone tuning in to the stream of this, whether currently or maybe they watch it in the future, if you would like the full run through of these changes, you can hop back over to the video for the work session from tonight, January 3rd, 2024, and hear me talk about them ad nauseum. But for tonight, I'll just kind of, yeah, restate, this is just an effort to make our city code a little more accurate and a little more user-friendly. Codes typically have errors that just exist in them from the decades they've existed, and we're trying to tackle those bit by bit. So this chunk here is just that, an attempt to correct problems. Most of the proposed changes we went through were pretty minor. I think maybe we can just revisit some of the comments that the commission had on the dog kennel one, especially as it relates to a potential motion. So before we get to that, I did want to say I will pull up this section maybe as you get close to making a motion. This has your model motions. And it's exactly what we talked about in the work session, where it is a recommendation to the city council since it's a text amendment. So you would not be moving to approve or moving to deny, you'd be moving to recommend, one or the other. Okay, so coming back to the pet boarding establishments, the items I remember us talking about maybe incorporating in to this draft were clarification on maybe the hours of daytime operation and what that looks like. Right now for the home pet boarding establishments, it's specified you can't have overnight boarding. It has to be daytime, but we don't have a specific metric on what daytime is. So that was one item you guys considered clarifying in a motion. And then the other item that was mentioned here was adding in information about our noise ordinance and what we use at the county, probably on the item that talks about pets being accompanied outside by a caregiver to address animal noise such as barking. It was suggested that maybe we just make reference to what the threshold is for noise, and we can point to the Salt Lake County noise ordinance there. So if those are things you would like to include in a motion for staff to add into the next draft, you could do that. I think in the past we have made motions where it's been pretty general and said, including the changes made to proposed change number 1 in regard to hours of operation and noise ordinance. I don't think you have to say it verbatim since we have it on the recording from earlier, but you're welcome to. Were there any other changes on this that you guys were thinking we needed to talk more about? Okay, and then I don't recall from the other bevy of changes that there were, I know we had discussion on some of the other ones. I don't recall any other changes we needed to kind of incorporate into a motion. Anybody, any commissioners have anything that we want to talk through on the others? Okay, so maybe with that, I will just move the screen back to that main page and take a seat. And if you need me, I'm happy to pop back up.
Thanks, Samantha. Okay, we'll go ahead and open up for any public comment on this particular item. This particular proposed change. Okay, is there anyone online? Suzanne Highland have her hand up? No, okay. I thought I saw that there was. Okay, great. Seeing that there's not any public comment for this item, we'll go ahead and close public comment for the item. And I will look to the commissioners for any further discussion on the, seems like we've exhausted discussing it, but I don't mean that in the way that we can't keep talking about it, but are there any other comments on the? Okay. Well, seeing none, then let's go ahead and see if, do we have a motion?
I'll make that. I move that we forward a recommendation of approval to the city council with the changes that Samantha discussed for project ZTA 23005.
Okay, great. Do we have a second?
Second.
You beat me.
Okay,
Second.
Commissioner Steinman, second. All right, let's go ahead and we'll take a vote.
But there's
Commissioner-
discussion first.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Just quick question. The only reason I said that is I had a question. Do we have to delineate the changes that Samantha made, or are we okay with just?
I think it's on the record. I guess it depends on how much you guys trust me. Do you want me to state the changes that I believe we're making? Would that be helpful?
Maybe it would be good to make the motion with the two items that we discussed, specifically saying the clarification of hours and referencing to Salt Lake County noise ordinance.
Because they would be in two separate meetings, so that's the only reason I bring it up.
Yeah, whatever the commission is comfortable with. I don't think it ever hurts to be more clear on the record, so by all means.
I
So
will
it-
accept that amendment to my motion.
Okay, do we have a second? to-
Second to his motion.
Okay. Okay. Are we good? I need help here. We're good, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing a great
Sam
job. I,
just needs to delineate it, and then I think we can vote unless.
I think the chair delineated it and Commissioner Shelton accepted the delineation as an amended motion, and that was
Okay.
seconded.
I think
Okay.
we're ready for a roll call, and
Okay.
you're doing a great job.
Okay.
Yeah.
good. Thank you. We'll go ahead and we'll do the roll call. Commissioner Chapel,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Shelton,
Yes.
Commissioner Steinman,
Yes.
Commissioner Ebler,
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson, yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, the next item is, back to my notes here. 3.2, Project ZTA 23004, public hearing and possible action on a city initiated zoning text amendment to establish standards and permitting requirements for outdoor sports courts in residential areas. I don't know that we need to do a lot of background on this. We've had several meetings and staff has presented a lot of detail on this. So we will go ahead and move to public comments on this particular item. And go ahead and whoever'd like to step forward. Again, I'll just remind you to say your name and you'll have 3 minutes for your comment.
Sure. My name's Renee Kundick. I've lived in Cottonwood Heights my whole life. I love it here. I went to Brighton High School. My husband went to Brighton High School. My 3 boys all went to Brighton High School. I am here to talk about pickleball courts. They are vastly different than sport courts. They're not even in the same category. I have 3 pickleball courts within 1/4 of a mile of my home. One is now 30 feet from my back door. Sport courts are used for your occasional pickup basketball game or to let your kids play. I have 3 pickleball courts that are used for recreational purposes. They're rented out hourly. I can hear the one that's 1/4 of a mile from my home inside my home. I work from home. I run my business from my home. It has already impacted my life. And in the spring, I'll have one 30 feet from my back door, 3 feet from my property line. That is going to impact my life, my family's life, and my neighbors that live all around me. They're vastly different. I really appreciated sitting in the work session and listening to everyone's comments because I like to hear how people work through things. And I implore you to look online. There's plenty of documentation out there how pickleball is vastly different from just a regular sport court. The one that is built in my backyard was built to be a pickleball court, not a barbecue pad, not for basketball. It's vastly different. So I would appreciate all of you taking the time to look at all the documentation and studies that have been done for a pickleball court. Also, I did submit something in writing by email. I submitted it late. So I hope that all of you will read through that. I so appreciate your time and consideration with this matter because it's important to me and I know it's important to a lot of people. My door is open. If anyone wants to come and see what it's like to live with now a 10-foot fence in my backyard and a pickleball court when I'm sitting on my porch, you're welcome, any of you, to come and see that because I'm terrified, to be honest, because I work from home. I live at home. My backyard's my happy place. And that is being taken from me because of pickleball, not because of a basketball pickup game or children playing. Those are far different sounds. So I appreciate you letting me speak with you and attend the work session. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments.
Can I just note, Chair, the comment from our most recent commenter was received by staff, and so we'll forward that to the commission after this meeting. We did get it.
Thank you. Anyone else for comments on this item? And thank you to those who did submit comments in writing too. Thank you. Appreciate that. I don't see any online either for comments, so I will go ahead and for right now, close public comment on the item that we're discussing tonight. Let's, do we want to, I don't know that we need to deliberate further on this. I think we've talked about
Maybe Commissioner Ebler would have a motion for us because he'll get it right.
I think we,
Wait, I did my homework.
Oh, you've
I was
got it.
ready.
this is Commissioner Tech is ready.
I had a couple questions, especially in regards to the last public comment. I know we accept written comments. What's our mechanism in case a constituent wanted to submit a comment based upon what it actually sounds like from their yard?
Like a multimedia comment? Yeah, we've received videos as public comments before. That's allowed.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we hear the stuff, it's very conceptual, but like sometimes just seeing and hearing something is worth more than anything in writing. And I would welcome that submission.
I would imagine most likely that any sort of like submitted multimedia comment would probably just be under the same regulations as written comment in terms of like time period. So I think we'd still just want it by day prior at noon for an upcoming meeting, and that would allow us to forward it to you guys in advance. You'd have time to engage with it, not read it, listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, so some of my comment was just more of a request that in these situations in which people are making public comments based upon their own experiences, just send the video or audio recording to show and demonstrate what you're actually experiencing.
Great point. Thank you, Commissioner Epler. All right, so I think we are at a point where we can have a motion.
Okay. I move that we continue project ZTA 23-004 to the mid-January meeting, which I believe is the 17th,
Yes.
including continuing public comment at that time.
Second.
Great, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion?
May I offer an observation? Is this appropriate to do this? I appreciate the public comment, the comments that we've received. I appreciate the interest and the passion that is shown. My tendency is to really think in terms of the property owner's rights and not infringing on those rights. But I will confess I'm being persuaded by the concerns that have been expressed. I don't have a pickleball court next to me, so I'm not as sympathetic as maybe I would be if I had that situation. So, and I've heard many comments addressing the adverse effects of having a pickleball court nearby. I've not heard too many here really advocating on the other side of that.
More.
Yeah, so I think these comments are useful and enlightening, and thank you for that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Now we can go to a vote on this. Commissioner Ebler,
Aye.
Commissioner Steinman,
Yes.
Commissioner Shelton,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Chapel,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson, yes. Great, thank you. So we'll continue this discussion in a couple of weeks. The next item is on the agenda is consent agenda approval of planning commission meetings from December 6th, 2023. Anyone have any feedback on the minutes? I don't have any feedback, so. I know.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Great, thank you. Any discussion? Okay. Then we can go ahead. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. That concludes that item. And then we just need one more motion.
Move to adjourn.
I'll second it. Commissioner Anderson seconded. Okay, that's it. We're done.
We vote?
We have to vote.
Oh, we got to vote. Sorry. Hey, geez, I almost, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Great, thank you. We're adjourned.
Thank you. Thanks, Commissioner Anderson. Or
Thank you,
Chair,
Commissioner
Chairwoman.
Ebler. Thanks.
Chairwoman.